Will next week's inflation data and Fed testimony finally give markets the direction they've been waiting for? This is the week ahead at XM. Let's take a look at what's coming up. Dollar traders keep an eye on the June CPI report and Fed Chair Kevin Warsh's first semi-annual testimony before Congress on Tuesday. A hotter-than-expected inflation reading could reinforce expectations that the Fed will raise interest rates later this year. Additionally, if Warsh stands firm on bringing inflation down to 2%, that combination could push the U.S. dollar higher. Wednesday's Chinese GDP numbers will provide vital clues on second quarter growth as markets assess the economic impact of the Middle East war. A weak reading could inject some caution into the markets. Later in the day, the U.S. PPI data will show how prices are changing for producers, giving markets another important gauge of inflationary pressures across the supply chain. The PPI report is not as closely watched as CPI data, but gaps between the two often move markets. In addition, we'll get the Bank of Canada's rate decision. The BOC is not expected to make any changes to its monetary policy at its July meeting and will likely favor a patient approach. However, any shift in tone could sharply weigh on the Canadian dollar. On Thursday, the focus shifts to U.S. retail sales. Despite surging gasoline prices driven by the U.S.-Iran war, consumer spending in the U.S. has held firm. An upside surprise in June retail sales would likely raise expectations for a late-year Fed rate hike, strengthening the greenback. Beyond the data, gold remains under pressure from dollar strength, with upcoming inflation data and Fed commentary likely to determine whether the precious metal can defend the key $4,000 support level. And crude oil remains sensitive to developments in the Middle East after Trump branded the U.S.-Iran ceasefire deal as over, resuming military strikes. This raises the stakes over the Strait of Hormuz, with traders weighing the prospect of improved shipping flows against the risk that fresh tensions could reignite supply disruption fears. Finally, the second quarter earnings season officially begins this week with a focus on the tech and AI sector. But first, all eyes will be on the big Wall Street banks on Tuesday before attention shifts to Dutch chips supplier ASML on Wednesday. Streaming giant Netflix reports on Thursday, along with Taiwan Semiconductor, considered a bellwether for global chip demand. This was your week ahead at XM. Don't forget to subscribe. You don't want to miss a market update.